Fall 2022 was my first season with the Badgers, and I was really just excited to be there. I get to play at the University of Wisconsin with all these amazing girls, coaches, and I was like, okay, how am I gonna, mold myself to being a Wisconsin Badger? And 2023 spring, I think, was a very big milestone for me to be able to understand where I needed to be for the team. I'd been working with the coaches on my mental state, on the consistency piece, and so I'd felt really, really good. After the spring, we had about 13 days of practices, like a mini preseason leading into Europe. I had started the new week with my hand just really not feeling good. Every time I'd hit the ball, it hurt.
I remember watching her run, and she had her hand out, and it was literally like purple. It doesn't look right. It literally looked like it was about to fall off. And I knew like something was really wrong.
I showed our trainer my entire arm, like all the way up to my elbow was white at that point.
After practice, the Wednesday before Memorial Weekend, Sarah came to me after practice and said, gosh, my finger looks kind of weird. We were getting ready to leave for our European trip that next week, and I was like, we got to get this figured out now. I know there's something going on.
The concern that I had was there's something going on related to her arm isn't getting enough blood, and that's why the arm feels cool.
One of the rare conditions that I'd mostly only seen written about was called quadrilateral space syndrome. And when you describe someone with this, it's almost always a volleyball player. If there truly is a problem getting enough blood flow down her arm, there can be permanent muscle damage, really within a matter of hours.
I tried my best not to go through all of the scenarios because I knew that would just send me in a spiral. All of those thoughts of, am I gonna be okay? Am I gonna medically retire? Am I gonna keep my arm? Am I gonna, what is going to be the outcome of this?
We got the message that they wanted her at the emergency room immediately. And the trainer looked at me and said, this is very concerning. And as long as her and I have worked together, she's never said that to me.
I had to let Sarah know. So I pulled her up on the court. We sat in the stands, and I just told her the severity of it.
That's when she told me, you have blood clots in your forearm, and you won't be able to go to Europe. You're gonna be admitted to the hospital today. Right now, this is no condition for you to be doing anything, because we don't know where that main blood clot is. So I met Britt, and as we're walking across the field house to my apartment, I just told her, I'm scared.
I gave her a hug, and she kind of broke away a little bit and said, God won't give me anything that I can't handle. I said, that is likely true. But what is also true is that you're allowed to be scared, and you're allowed to be sad, and you're allowed to be in excruciating pain knowing that this could be the end, and you're allowed to be optimistic.
It was really nice to have her there and kind of slow things down for me, because at that point my mind was I didn't know what to think. In 2023 spring, I had not gotten all of my academics settled in the fall. So in the spring, I wasn't eligible. I wasn't able to play. And I felt like I had let the team down at that point.
She is hungry to make it right with her team. And we're days away from jumping on a 10-hour flight for all of this work is going to show.
Not only is possibly her arm or her life on the line or her career's on the line, but then there was this tremendous guilt that once again she's leaving her teammates behind.
At about 5 o'clock that day that I was admitted to the hospital, that's when they kind of ran through everything that I was going to be going through in surgery. They said, we're going to have to do an angiogram. An angiogram is where they take the catheter up through your groin, through your body, and into your arm. And then she told me, I'm going to need you awake for this part because I'm going to need you to move your arm. Dr. Morgan walked over to me, and I knew that like right now was going to be like make or break for my volleyball career. She came over to me, hunched over and looked at me and said, hey, this is quadrilateral space syndrome. This is the best case scenario. Like, you're going to be back for season. And right there, I just absolutely bawled on the table. You know, happy tears that I was going to be able to be back. And I looked at her and I was like, okay, like, let's go. Like, let's do this. Britt and Anne-Marie were the two people who sent me off into surgery. And I don't think I would have had such a positive outlook if I didn't have both of them there, if I didn't have Kelly visiting every day.
There's Franklin, smart shots, puts the back row.
I was just in such a grateful state that this was how it turned out. And to then have a plan and have things in my mind that I knew I was going to be able to do leading into season, oh my gosh, I was so excited.
And Franklin crushes it.
I spent that season being absolutely ecstatic to just be on the court, be in a Wisconsin jersey, be playing volleyball with the girls that I absolutely adore and love. And I was like, I'm going to make this season freaking count.
It's Win the Miracle story, my opinion, the best comeback story of the year.
I could not have imagined, even fathomed, any of the Big Ten Player of the Year, AVCA National Player of the Year, how far we made it in the tournament, being nominated for an ESPY.
There's a relentlessness with Sarah that is inspiring because you get to see it at work every day of how she bounces back, the toughness, the resiliency, the betting on yourself. I've learned you never count that kid out.
There's one player in this matchup that could probably sell out the gym on her own merit. That's Sarah Franklin from Wisconsin. There's the sharp one from Franklin. Back-to-back kills. Franklin to put it into it. On a career night with 33 kills.
After wanting so badly to be there for my teammates and going through all of that, going through the season and being where I am now, I think I've done a pretty good job.